I no, I keep putting lip balm on, but that's not the crazy thing. My lips are dry because I had surgery on. They took cancer out right here. I've said that before. And my lips get really dry since then. Plus it's winter time. So anyway, I had a whole hour video live and I went to upload it and it had an error and I didn't know what else to do except delete it. So I have to start over. So anyway, yeah. So I even had people on chat and everything with me last time. It was so fun. But I'm gonna tell you about my carnivore journey again. And I'm gonna take my glasses off because my window is reflecting in my glasses. So anyway, yeah. So my journey to carnivore has been very interesting, shall we say? Because um well, going back even further than I did before in the other video, I was bedridden before and I really didn't know what was going on, really tired all the time. I just was in bed all the time. I rarely got out of bed. I had to because I had little kids, but my oldest daughter was 3 at the time, which would have made me 3 or 4 and maybe 5. Yeah, 2. So anyway, I was in my 30s. I was like, oh, 33 to 35, somewhere in there. And I didn't know what was going on. I had all kind of tests done. My heart was irregular. I was constipated. I know this is WTMI, but whatever. Hey, we're here talking about my carnivore journey, so you're gonna get WTMI sometimes. So anyway, so yeah, it wasn't fun at all. And so finally the doctor thought to do they put me on antidepressants when my let's see, was that with my son? I think it wasn't until my youngest daughter was young. Or, yeah, she was really young. So I had to stop medicine her when I was like she was a year old because they put me on antidepressants. So I wasn't even on thyroid medicine. Wow. This went on for years. Oh, it was miserable. Really miserable. And you can die from low thyroid. I mean, it sounds dramatic, but you can because it slows your heart down, it slows your blood pressure down, it slows everything. It's a master gland. It's right here and right behind here. And it just rules everything. If you don't have it, you don't have life. So I know they take them out, but then you have to live on the medicine. So I'm on a natural thyroid now medicine. I was on the synthetic for years, and that'll be maybe for a different video because I want to stick with my journey to carnivore. But anyway, that's how my real I was sickly as a child too. I had mono when I was 10. I was so tired. I came home from school and I just slept. I just plopped down in a beanbag chair in front of the TV and I'd be asleep all the way till dinner. I remember my mom talking on the phone to her friend and saying, I don't know what's wrong with her. I could hear her and I was just so tired I couldn't even get up and say, hey, I'm here or whatever, but I could hear her talking. So yeah, then I had mono all the way through Thanksgiving into Christmas and uh, I remember friends and neighbors came over and sang Christmas carols at the door. It really blessed me, but oh man, that was miserable. Mono is miserable. So tired and all the funky colored snot and all that stuff. And it just does a lot to your body. So I don't know if that's why my thyroid got messed up, but my mother and my dad both had low thyroid, and they didn't tell me that until after I, you know, finally figured out that I did. So anyway, it was a lot of years that I went through this. Kaylee was one, so Natalie would have been, that was in 98, and Natalie would have been, wait, 98? Yeah, Natalie was 6. Natalie was about 6 at the time, and she's my oldest. So that means I was 30, you're figuring out this all by age anyway. Uh, I would have been 36 then, because I was born. Natalie was born, my oldest was born when I was 30. And so, yeah, so I got on antidepressants. I kept having to have EKGs and stress tests and all these different things because they couldn't figure out why my heart was all weird and irregular and beating funny and not, beating fast enough and all this stuff. But it was my thyroid. So, anyway, they finally got me on medicine. Levothyroxine, I think, was the first one. I was on Synthroid for a while. Finally, I did some reading and really researched and found that I really needed to be on a natural thyroid medicine because the natural, it's actually from a pig. It's NP thyroid or armor thyroid, and those are the same things. NP is like a not synthetic, sorry, a generic form of armor. And the that medicine, the natural one, uh, produces both T3 and T4, and the synthetic one only produces T3. I get the two confused, T3 and T4. But anyway, the synthetic only produces one. So what it ends up doing, and this is what I read and what I understand, is that the synthetic, your thyroid doesn't work because the medicine is doing all the work for it. And then the natural, your thyroid keeps working and stays strong. So the synthetic will eventually it will kill your thyroid. And I've been on thyroid medication for a very long time. So that would make, if I was 36 when I think I was about, well, I was older than that because I went on an antidepressant because they thought it was depression because I was so tired, and it wasn't. So, gosh, man, this went on for years. It really sucks how long it went on. It was terrible because, I missed out on a lot of my kids' young years when they were, their first milestones and everything, and having the energy to play with them and everything. It was terrible not having the energy to play with them. So, I wish I found carnivore earlier because it could have really helped me. But it is what it is. So now I'm 61. So if let's say I started, I could, you know what? I'm going to ask my doctor. I'm going to ask him to look back at my chart because that'll tell me for sure. Um, so yeah, yep. So anyway, I've had a lot of surgeries too, and I wonder if all the, putting me under and all the medication and stuff that goes along with having surgeries and all this stuff. I wonder if that didn't, yeah, a lot of circumstances could have been, could have been mono, you know. I've wondered about that because I think the mono has affected my immunity. Um, I have, I had to touch them and see if they're sore. But my glands, yeah, they're usually one or the other of them is sore or somewhat sore all the time, even though I'm as healthy as I can be. So anyway, um, so yeah, um, so I've been through a lot. So because of all the problems and all this trying to heal my thyroid or figure out what was wrong and all of that, I used to eat really cruddy just because you have little kids, you don't have a lot of money, you just kind of eat what the food bank gives you, which isn't good, the pasta, the cheapo crap, and stuff. And you don't always get the good meat. I remember we used to get these cans of pork that I would put in the refrigerator and until the fat went up to the top. This was probably the most healthy thing that we would get from that and maybe the cheese from Wick. Um, but they give you juice and pasteurized milk and stuff. You don't get the good milk or the whole milk or anything. And they want you to do the 2% and the low fat. And when I was gaining a lot of weight when I was pregnant, because I always gained 50 pounds, my doctor, my latest pregnancy doctor, whatever you call, anyway, the my baby doctor. He, the last one, his name was Dr. Baker, and he was an older guy, and I really liked him. He delivered. Oh wait, did he deliver Kaylee? No, another doctor did. But anyway, I think Dr. Baker retired by the time Kaylee came along. But he delivered two of my babies. So this Dr. Baker, and he said, "Oh, don't worry about it." He said, "You're," because Wick was telling me, "You're gonna have to do skim milk and not skim milk. That's like gray matter. It's disgusting. No, no good thing is at all. It's like, why would you drink that? It tastes disgusting, and there's nothing good about it at all. So anyway, it's fake. So nasty crap. So anyway, they wanted me to go lower fat. I liked drinking the whole milk. I think I had it, right. I was like, that's good for you. Even then, I knew. But anyway, Dr. Baker said no. He said, you started out your pregnancies only at 120 pounds. He said, you uh, need to gain weight. So anyway, he thought it was all baby. He said, you'll lose it. After when I was gaining weight with my son, which I gained about the same amount as I did with my daughter, my first one. He said, don't worry about it. I don't know why you're worrying about it. He said, you lost it last time, didn't you? Pretty quickly. And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, you will again. So don't worry about it. So anyway, I don't know. I went through an insecure period, I guess, about my weight, which I don't usually do. But when you're not used to being overweight and you think you're gonna be, then I don't know. Anyway, whatever. So, um, yeah. So, anyway, I did a lot of things when I went through menopause. Then in my 40s, then um, I just really didn't feel good. Like I was had insomnia really bad, and um, I'd had all that trouble with being so fatigued, and then finally they figured out that it was my thyroid, and things got better, and then I went through menopause, and things got crappy again. So back to the drawing board I went, back to figuring out, cutting out gluten, eating Ezekiel bread, sprouted bread instead because I love bread, um, or loved bread. I'm gonna do some carnivore bread. I found some recipes, and when I get my money in for my Social Security, which I'm waiting for, I'm gonna get some, stuff that I can make some carnivore bread. There's a way to make carnivore buns and stuff with like egg white powder and uh, collagen, gelatin. Yeah, like beef gelatin and stuff. Anyway, I'm kind of excited about trying those things. So I'm going to, and it looks really good. What's his name? New Orleans? Not New Orleans, Carnivore. Anyway, I'll have to look him up. He's got some good recipes. And then Maria Emmerich, I think that's her first name. Maria Emmerich has some good carnivore recipes too. So I love to cook, and that's one thing about carnivore. It's so simple. You just go in, cook meat, done. I stick it in the air fryer or I put it in my Instapot and it's done. A little bit of salt, maybe some smoked salt, a little bit of garlic, maybe. We can do garlic. I try to stay away from oxalates because I did some research on oxalates. You should research oxalates. Anyway, it's super interesting. But anyway, I've done a lot of research. Um, and I had to kind of become my own doctor because my doctors didn't want me to go on natural, or some of them did. So I'm sticking with the ones who let me. But at the same time, they're not doing all the tests that need to be done for my thyroid. I've never had a very thorough thyroid panel. And there's one called a reverse T4, something like that. And I don't know all the names of the tests, but there's more thorough for your thyroid so you can really tell what's going on. And my doctor's response to that when I asked him for those tests, I asked them specifically. I had them written down on a list and I read it off to him. He said I wouldn't know what to do with the information. He said all I know how to do is um, thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH. All I know is if it's high, then your thyroid is low, and if it's low, then your thyroid is high. I'm like, oh brother. So I want to go to a good, what's it called? Either a naturopath or a functional doctor. You know what I mean? What's the full name for that? Functional, anyway, whatever. You know what I mean. So I need to get in with a good doctor that's gonna, because otherwise I have to do all the research and I have to be the smarty pants. And they're the ones that went to school, but they're bought and paid for by the pharmaceutical companies, honestly. That's why they throw pills at you. And if the studies don't have to do with making medicine and making money from that medicine, then they don't do the studies. So that's why you have to just be your own guinea pig and figure out things. And that's what I've done for years, been my own guinea pig. So anyway, I ended up at carnivore through a very circuitous route. And back in, I went vegan because of all this. I went vegan to try to heal my thyroid that way. And I felt better for a while. Man, I remember I started it and a few months in, January, I remember it was my birthday and I felt like $1,000,000. Yeah, because I cut out all the processed foods, right? So you're going to feel better at first. And then you get malnutrition because you don't have all the stuff that you need. And then you crash. So that's what happened. And then I started adding meat in a little bit to transition from veggie, from, you know, um, because you have to, anyway, this is a general, full, like, journey to carnivore. And I'll kind of go into the different bits and pieces as I go along and do my videos. I'll talk about the fat adaptation and stuff. Because you go from using carbohydrates for your energy source to using fat for your energy source. Because if you don't have carbohydrates, you need something for your energy, and that's what fat is. So, and your fat in your body leaves your body on good fat. If you get my drift, because your body starts working properly, and the good fat carries the bad fat away. So, anyway, that's kind of the long and the short of it. But yeah, so I started eating a little bit of meat, and then I and then I first I went keto, vegan keto, and that was interesting. I learned that there's vegetables with protein in them, right? Um, it's hard to do that. You end up with a lot of carbs. It's hard to do. But anyway, I forget what all I did. Seems like nuts and seeds and um, gosh, the oxalates. Now that I've learned about oxalates, ugh, lots of oxalates in my food, and which isn't good for you. And uh, greens, which have a lot of oxalates. Um, and so I would do green smoothies. I'd put a little bit of fruit to make it more palatable, um, stuff like that. So I'd make cashew cheese. Um, I made some things that were really tasty. I'm not gonna lie. I learned how to do some things, some creative things. Made my own coconut milk, made my own cashew milk, and that is tasty. But the oxalates, and um, you're not getting the nutrients that your body needs. You're not getting the B vitamins. You're not getting, and you're getting too much fiber. And, I believe my system was all out of whack. That's why I gravitated back to higher protein, high fat. Oh, I remember one time I went low fat vegan because I was doing P90X, and a challenge was to go, I think it was a challenge or something. It was like a low fat challenge. It was horrible. I'm like, get me some almond butter, get me peanut butter, whatever. And I was chowing down. I just finally I realized my body was craving fat. And really it was craving animal fat. Anyway, so I switched to eating a little bit of meat, and then I went keto. And I went keto, vegan keto, like I had said. And that was really challenging. I mean, you wanna know about counting this and counting that, figuring out this and that. Whew, man, that was hard. But I did it. And um, then I went keto. And then last in 2023, last year, I was going on a cruise. And before the cruise, I went on about a month of strict keto before my cruise, so that when I went on the cruise, I could, within reason, eat what I wanted. I didn't go crazy, crazy, But I ate some desserts and I ate some croissants, which I really do love croissants. And I ate, what I wanted. And when I got home from the cruise, because I had done keto before the cruise, and the cruise was only 5 days, I weighed the same amount that I did when I left. So that was kind of awesome. I'm sure that my body composition wasn't quite what it should be just from that 5 days. Because I drank some zero, what do they call those non-alcoholic drinks? Anyway, I drank some pina colada, some mango pina colada, had pineapple and mango in it. And yeah, I don't mean to tempt people that are carnivore or want to go carnivore, but um, anyway, anyway, so I did that, and then um, there's a carnivore cruise um, coming up. Is it in the fall? I can't remember when it's coming, but I'm getting some money in my account finally, and I think I'm gonna sign up. I'm gonna figure out if I have a roommate to share the room with so that I can split costs. It'll be about $400 for the room, and then probably that much for the flight, and then yeah. So I'm thinking probably I'll have to take $1,000 with me. Anyway, I would love that. I went on a cruise last year, so I went on this cruise last year, and then I went carnivore. I got back from the cruise on the 5th of August. I had surgery for cancer, and they took the cancer out right here. And then um, on the 20th, somewhere around the 15th to the 20th, I'm about on day 200 for carnivore. Um, I say my date is August 20th, just to make it easier to figure out what day I'm on. About a month behind Bill Knott. I think he's a month ahead of me. So anyway, so Bill Knott is a carnivore who weighed 700 pounds when he started the journey, and now he weighs well, probably now less, but the last I knew, 465 or something like that. It's really cool. So anyway, I weighed 146 or 8 when I started this journey, and I had lost weight like probably 10 pounds from my highest weight. I lost about 10 pounds because I was in the 150s, 158 or so. And then I weigh 130, between 134 and 38. I fluctuate in that weight range right now. And I'm about at my goal weight. I think maybe I could lose 5 pounds and still be great and not be underweight or anything. I could probably weigh 129 and feel awesome. So, but I feel like my midsection is firming up. My abs are, tightening. You build muscle without even trying. I am exercising again, not as regularly as I was because I'm not working as regularly as I was. I'm took some time off to help my son get into long-term care, which I explained on another video. Anyway, and so yeah, but even then, you practically build muscle without even trying, because of course you've got the protein, you've got the fat, you've got what your body needs for building blocks of muscle. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. I'm about at a half hour, and I think that's good. Um, so I think I've pretty much gone over everything. Like I say, I'll get into detail of what I eat, and it's steak. I get steak from Costco. I get what I do is I get it's really cheap to do it this way. If you don't mind cutting your meat up yourself, you can get a chuck roll, which they get from the back, and because they don't have to process it and cut it and wrap it and all that stuff, they don't have to wrap all that individual and it's not all that packaging. And they give you a really good deal. It's like last time I got it was about $4.49 a pound, right? I mean, how much cheaper can you get than that? And I usually buy some fish. I get salmon. I love shrimp. I get jumbo shrimp, wild caught if I can find it. And I put shrimp and butter in my eggs and have scrambled eggs and shrimp, which is so good. Oh man, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it. I have steak in my air fryer right now that I cooked earlier, and I was letting it rest. I've let it rest too long, and I'm gonna rewarm it up, eat steak, because I hadn't had steak in a long time. Found it in the bottom of my chest freezer. I forgot that, or I didn't realize there was another package in there. So yay! I've got two large steaks. They'll probably last me through tomorrow sometime. I eat a lot. Like, if I was to do how they say to do a gram per your ideal weight. So I put 129 for my ideal weight, and a third, if I did the calculations right, according to the website that I went to, or no, yeah, it's, what is that then? So grams, 129 grams. If the converter that I went to, because I always get confused between grams and right, pounds, right? 129 grams is how much meat I could eat in a day. That's how you want to do the conversion. Your ideal weight um, in is in grams. So 129 grams a day, which is only a third of a pound. It's like 0.36. Yeah, it's like 0.33 or 0.336 or something like that. Anyway, I'm like, that's only a third of a pound. I'm pretty sure, like the other day, I ate 4 hamburger patties, a bunch of eggs, like 6 eggs, and 6 pieces of bacon in one day. I mean, you eat until you're satisfied. You don't want to not, and I'm not like gaining weight or anything. I'm maintaining my weight. So you really don't want to eat too little, because if you do that, then you go into starvation mode and your body holds on to the weight, holds on to the fat. That's the truth, because it's they found that out with Holocaust victims, because when they came back from um, when they after the war, the survivors, they did a research study, and they found that they were obese because their bodies were holding on, because they didn't know when they were going to get their next meal, because that's how they didn't eat when they were during the Holocaust. So anyway, that's starvation mode, and makes sense to me. So you want to eat enough, and you want to eat enough fat. And if you've eaten too much fat when you have disaster pants. And I think it was Dr. Chafee that coined that. Somebody did. Dr. Baker, Dr. Chafee, or Dr. Barry, one of those guys did. Anyway, I thought it was funny. And it's true. because carnivores don't fart. You want an advantage? Carnivores don't fart because we don't have fiber in our diet. And so, gosh, there's so many advantages. People who've had colostomy bags um, report that when they eat meat, the difference, they had diverticulitis or whatever, and then their diverticulitis just healed. And if they still are on a colostomy bag, the meat digests perfectly, and the veggies do not, and the fruit, the seeds, and all the things come out whole and don't digest, and the meat digests, and they healed. Their diverticulitis healed from meat, and they tell you opposite. They tell you meat's going to cause cancer, you're going to get high cholesterol, you're going to get a heart attack, you're going to die, blah, 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 blah. That's not true. It's just simply not true. So anyway, I encourage you to research Dr. Baker, Dr. Berry, um, Homestead How. There's a lot of carnivores out there. Um, Kelly Hogan, she's a really good one. I like her. Laura Spath, I like all of them, but I don't agree with them on their evolutionary ideas because they talk about millions and billions of years. But who was there? And do they know that's how many years? That is really that the carbon dating really, I don't think carbon dating is accurate because they found in St. Helens that the things they thought took millions and billions of years took a very short time because of heat, because of lava, you know, petrified wood and all that just went really quick, happened really quick. So, anyhow, guys, research it for yourself, and I'm gonna get off here and see if this video will upload, and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.